Dear Honorable Bhante, my friends, this is the time I give for the Dhamma talk in English. To start the Dhamma talk, everyone making sense, 3 times, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Evaṁ me sutaṁ ekam samayam bhagava Vāranasiyam vihārati hipatane migadāye tatra ko bhagavā pañcavāgye bhikkhu āmancheti ye me bhikkhave anta pabbajitena na sevitabba yo chāyam kāmesu kāmasu kallikānu yogo hino gammo potujjaniko anariyo anatta sangito yo chāyam atta kilamathānu yogo dukkho anariyo anatta sangitāti. Dear Dhamma friends, today is our first day in this retreat. According to the timetable, each day we have allocated 30 minutes for Dhamma talk in English medium, and I thought of delivering a Dhamma talk each day as a series, and for the whole series I would like to suggest what I have already recited. That means the Dhammajiva Sutta, that is the very first sermon, the omniscient one delivered, and in English it is called the turning of the Dhamma wheel, and it is a fairly sutta covering almost all the teaching of the Buddha, and recorded as the very first one in the Pali canon. It is not recited, not placed in the first place, chronologically or time-wise, that is being considered as the first one. And before going into this the sutta content directly, I would like to give some significant points, historical points or historical backgrounds under what circumstances this discourse happened. Soon after the enlightenment, the omniscient one, the blessed one, spent a few weeks near the same place with the gist of the enlightenment, and then it occurred to him to first, of course, not to share with this profound Dhamma with other beings due to the fact that its profundity. He himself thought it is not possible for other sentient beings to understand and realize this profound Dhamma. According to the books, it says one of the Brahma came and invited the Buddha, telling that if that is the case, it will be a great loss for the humanity and for the whole world. Therefore, even though people are not fully matured enough, fully open enough for this profound Dhamma, he may take an effort so that those who have less amount of defilements, those who have opened their eyes even halfway, may try, and it will be some pragmatic and practical values. And that is how omniscient one decided, the Buddha decided to give the discourses. And next, then follows to whom that he should first deliver a talk or share it. And for his knowledge, first came that one of the teachers helped him to come up to a good amount of concentration meditation, namely up to the non-material jhanic experiences. So he thought, the Buddha thought, these teachers may be in a good position because their virtues are already tested and good in quantity and quality, and their minds are clear because no much of hindrances. So he thought first to share with them. But unlucky enough, he has that particular teacher, Alara Kamalam by name, has passed away 7 years ago, and then he has gone to a non-material sphere where he can't listen, he can't share Dhamma even with the enlightened one. So it was a great loss for the teacher. Even the Buddha going to give a consideration, he was not in a position to receive Dhamma. And then he thought about the Karamaputra. He was still advanced. He has gone to the 8th jhana, or in the 4th immaterial jhanic state. And when he considered, he also passed away last night. So by one day he also missed the bus. So then only he decided to think about sharing it with his 5 assistants. Of course these 5 assistants was not happy with him. That is why they abandoned him and went far away. But anyway, he thought that they have some kind of acquaintance and same way of practice. So therefore he started walking a long distance from Gaya to Varanasi, and it cost 3 weeks. And after that, in his reaching these 5 ascetics, all the 5 ascetics took each other after seeing that the Siddhartha, the Gautama is reaching. They decided not to give the full kind of acceptance and royal kind of treatment, and anyway just as a gift give a moderate kind of treatments or the minimum. But anyway, as the Buddha reached him, it happened, according to the books, it says, happened to them to make his arrangements so that to give the maximum kind of treatment. And then, after deceiving him, the Buddha tried to convince them and ask them to please pay attention. I am going to give and I am going to share Dhamma with you. But all the 5 vehemently resisted. They told, who are you to teach me, because you also are a co-practitioner with us. So why, how you have the rights to teach us? So they wanted to share with the equal way. So the commentary says 3 times the Buddha reiterated, mentioned him, I have something to share with you. But 3 times the 5 ascetics, friends, refused. And then the Buddha changed the tactic, and then he asked, I have been with you all for 6 years. Have I ever tried to boast myself? Have I ever told you that I have even seen a single light perception in my meditation? Then only they looked upon each other's face and came to know this Siddhartha, the Gautama, is not a kind of a person boasting, and he never bragged himself, and therefore they received their gift right. Never, you have never bragged, boasted. Then the Buddha asked, why that I have not bragged, or I have not mentioned, that I have not seen even the light in my meditation, because actually I did not. Now why I am telling you to come and listen to, because now I have seen. That is why I came all the way. Then only they gave the listening ears and the attention. So all these three incidents indicate even the Dhamma is available, your receptivity, your acceptance and your mood, your view is very important. Otherwise, just like a vessel upside down, whatever the amount of water you are going to pour, nothing will go in. It has to be placed and receiving. Something like when the rain happens, if you keep the vessel inside the roof, you won't get water. If you wish to collect water, you have to keep the vessel outside when it is in upright position. And likewise, Dhamma is there, but our receptivity, our acceptance, our preparedness matters. So with this all tactics only, the Buddha himself prepared the minds of the 5 ascetics to listen. And this is just to brief about the background or historical background regarding this particular sutta. And then after giving an introduction that I am delivering a talk, the first and foremost thing, the issue explained in this particular sutta is Dve me bhikkhave anta pabbidikena na sevitabba. O monks, those who have gone forth from the household life should not associate or indulge 2 extremes, namely sense pleasure, indulgence of the sensuous pleasure, and the second thing is self-mortification. And while presenting, he gives reason as far as the sense pleasure is concerned. Yochayang atikilmatani yogo, hino gammo purtujjaniko anariyo anatta sanhito. Its base, it's vulgar, and it is only for the worldly beings to entertain it, not for the Aryans or noble people, highly people, because it won't give you the well-being, the welfare or loving kindness to oneself. And therefore the sense pleasure, you must try to avoid it. And today, when you look at the world or society at large, you can see how much it is chasing behind these luxuries, consumerization, and then immediate after effect is the environmental pollution, the mind pollution, and all the series of problems. And it indicates, even though at the face value it appears like an achievement, in long run it's going to give a completely negative, irreversible damages. So that is why the Buddha mentioned there the sense pleasure or indulgence of sense pleasure is not appreciated by the noble ones, and is not going to give the due welfare, the well-being of oneself. And recently, so-called developed countries completely with the blindfolded way going to chasing behind this sense pleasure. They think all the external facilities or good views or visual objects to the eye and the good sounds, music to the ear and good smells to the nose and the different tastes to the tongue and the luxuries, vehicles and furniture and houses and all to the bodily sensation, and all the ideas for the mind is the sign of prosperity and richness. So they chasing behind. You can compare to the countries like Asiatic countries like India, the other part also available. There are some people they seek liberation or peace out of this modification of self-torturing. And that is also being appreciated much by the Indian society. In the case of the Buddha, before his enlightenment, when he was practicing this self-mortification up to 5 years, his 5 ascetics were very happy. They were assisting him, considering he was extraordinary, because he came from the royal clan and went for the self-mortification to the utmost. And therefore they developed huge respect, and they did all the help and assistance. But whenever he comes back to the middle path, the assistant, the 5 ascetics told, he is ruining himself and he is given up his practice. So they all were disheartened. That indicates the Indian values. People are very happy with this self-mortification kind of ascetics. They thought basically this is the way because it is a kind of reaction to this self-mortification, the sensuous pleasure. People are at large chasing behind the sense pleasure and ultimately ruining themselves. Therefore, some people think those who are practicing Atthilamattana Yoga, the self-modification, is the correct path. So now the Buddha is preparing the mind of the 5 ascetics. Both of these are not correct. So when we are practicing, if we wish to see kind of a peace of mind, mind culture, we must understand the disadvantages of these 2 extremes. And then these identification and getting rid of 2 extremes are negative or destructive, and then the Buddha has to come out with the thesis and the constructive way, then what to do. So this is exactly the practical purpose of indicating these 2 extremes, the sensuous pleasure and the self-mortification. In only the Buddha says, "O monks, I myself resorted back to the middle path, and that is the way point where I open my eyes, my knowledge awakening, and all the well-being happen." So we also coming from the normal day-to-day life and from the society at large, and we also have some good and negative or positive qualities towards the sense pleasure as well as for the self-modification. So one has to understand, as far as we are indulging, we are entertaining of these extremes, we are really cutting off, we are off the way of the middle path. And generally, if you are in such a extreme, in a fanatic way, even the benefactor, even the Buddha or any good messenger come and tell you, this is wrong, you have to select the middle path, definitely you will react, because your desire and you are safeguarding either one, the sense pleasure or the self-gratification. So unless otherwise you have open heart, open-mindedness to see these 2 are not the only 2 ways to look at the world. And the third way, the middle way, not to go for extremes. So this way you have to cut most of the gross defilements just by selecting the middle path. That means not to indulge the extremes. Otherwise the benevolent friends And the teachers also find difficult to communicate with us. So therefore we have to always think about whether we, in general terms, ready and keep the middle path open. For that, one thing is we must have our self-critical kind of outlook towards our behavior. And the second and the most important part is we must have good, noble friends. Those who are practicing and already entertain certain amount of peace of mind. So that is why we get together to places like this and try to keep our extremes off. In that case, we must not worry about that we don't have all luxuries and all the desired sense pleasure. And the other part is, by getting rid of, in a way of getting rid of this sense pleasure, we must not facilitate the self-mortification, that means deprive of our basic needs. So meditation centers are geared to give somewhat easy. But we have our own personal likings and disliking, our personality trait. So when we are working in a group, when we are adjusting ourselves to the meditation center, each and everyone has to do certain amount of sacrification, either towards the getting rid of this sense pleasure or getting rid of some hidden self-modification characters. Then only the middle path will be open. By itself, there may be certain amount of gross defilements cut off, and we are making the mind ready for the middle path. So, as far as the external world is concerned, association with good friends, noble friends, and wise people is giving us a good role model that by associating this middle path, avoiding these extremes, they are keeping the mind present and pleasant. And internally, one aspect or one mental factor, mental concomitant has been recognized and greatly contribute towards the middle path. That is what we are trying to develop in this meditation retreat, namely the mindfulness. Mindfulness is a mental factor. Always keep the issue open and your mind slowly opening to see things as they are. So therefore, this retreat we can say to develop mindfulness. Or in the commentarial exegesis and share, going through all the canon, you can see another term is the diligence. The mindfulness you find in the canon as the sati in Pali, and diligence is appeared as the appamada. The appamada means diligence, the opposite of appamada is samada, negligence. And the mindfulness is sati, asati, opposite is translated as unmindfulness. So mindfulness is the external factor, the noble friends are the, mindfulness is the internal factor, noble friends are the external factor. By associating both of them, we are going to give a fresh outlook to our interaction with the world and assimilate the middle path as much as possible. So we must always try to be mindful in sitting meditation, in walking meditation, as well as in the day-to-day activities. So in order to facilitate mindfulness, it says, when we are associating with the world, for example, seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting, and thinking, if we are going to do a very active, and dynamic, fast life, so much of sense impeachments will pour into our stream of consciousness. The weak mindfulness will find difficult to keep the accounts, keep the bookkeeping. So therefore, whenever we are trying to facilitate mindfulness, specifically in a retreat like this, we try to reduce as much as possible the influx, the impingements of the sense organs, and whatever the impingement happen, we try to observe or preparedness with mindfulness. The mindfulness is just like a bookkeeper, keeping the accounts, keeping the book, what is happening in each and every moment as much as possible. For example, in a sitting, in order to reduce the amount of influxes or impingements, inflow, we close our eyes, go to a silent place, and do not entertain smelling and tasting. We observe vigilantly, diligently, mindfully on the flow of the body tactile sensation. In the walking meditation, we have no task or regimentation. We just pace up and down, keeping the mindfulness open. Of course, in the sitting, it is more openings to the senses, something like seeing and hearing, together with intentional action of left foot, right foot. But anyway, you need to keep the mindfulness, so you focus the attention on the each and every step and try to be mindful in walking meditation. But in day-to-day activities, all the senses are open, but advise to do things in the slow pace with the awakened mindfulness and be attentive. Listen to your own sounds. And then the slowly mindfulness will be employed. So all the three ways we repeat the mindfulness, that is the way we try to introduce the middle path in this retreat. So today, I think this much of time we can allocate, and tomorrow I will take time to understand little in detail, according to the words of the Buddha, how one can incorporate this middle path according to the Noble Eightfold Path, and then how can we reinforce with our knowledge of theory and the practice, so that mindfulness will be steadfast. So more and more you become mindful, you yourself can verify whether this middle path is going to give direct opening, direct touch, and just like opening the eyes and opening the wisdom, jnana karani, chakku karani, abhinyaya, upasamaya, special knowledge and peace of mind, and last, emancipation. No, it is not the last and the path knowledge or fruition knowledge. Each and every moment of mindfulness is going to give certain amount of results in micro level. So each and everyone can test for themselves its verifiability. So leaving that for tomorrow, I would like to sum up the today's talk with this one. And thank you very much for listening. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And in the afternoon, 1:30 we are going to have a discussion over there. We can raise any questions or difficult things available, or any views you have. We will be meeting here from 1 to 1:30 afternoon. Thank you very much.